Excuse me. Sorry if I sound a little bit bunged up. I don't know, it's just like the last few days I've just been full of like, sore throat, stuffy nose, sneezing. So can everyone like flood me with sympathy in the comments just to make me feel better? Thanks. So I thought, as I'm feeling a bit groggy, I want something a bit hearty, you know, a bit comforting. So I'm gonna make a risotto. Well, sort of. It's gonna be a bit of a cheats risotto. So we're not using risotto rice, we're using something else. A bit of a cheat ingredient, which I'll get onto in a second. But listen, before we dive in, do the usual thing, like, share, subscribe, really appreciate it. And yeah, let's crack on. And again, as always, all the ingredients will be listed below this video in the description, or I think if you're on mobile, it says show more. Either way, it's all gonna be down there. Very, very simple. There's very few ingredients in this. Got some parmesan. If you can't afford parmesan, you want to make this a bit cheaper, use grano padano. It's a very similar cheese, very similar tasting. It's a damn sight cheaper though, but I've got some parmesan. Chorizo, got some butter. What else? Lemons. Use some lemon juice, some lemon zest. Bit of garlic, basil, chicken stock, white wine. That is optional. You can leave it out if you want to. Also, going to use a bit of salt and pepper, a bit of oil, and some leeks. Not going to use all of these. Probably about half of one of those large ones. I am actually attempting to grow some leeks this year. I will do a garden update at some point when things start coming through. But I've got so many things on the go at the minute. But you know, my leeks are sprouting. Look at those. Look, I've created life. Whether they'll be successful is another story. We'll see. But what we need to do is clear this down, and we need to do a little bit of prep, bit of chopping, bit of dicing, etc, etc. First thing I'm going to do is get one of our leeks out of here. I'm going to take the end off, because that can be a bit woody and a bit naff. Get rid of that. And a little kitchen tip for you as well, because leeks can be full of like mud and silt and dirt and bugs and all sorts. And to get them nice and clean can be a bit of a tricky task. So what you need to do is just cut it lengthways, something like that. Straight down the middle like that. Turn it 90 degrees. Do the same again like that, until it sort of fans out, like that. Then take it over to the sink, and then you can sort of fan it out and rinse it under the tap. Gets all that muck and gunk out, while still keeping it together. Then back over to our chopping board, and then you're just going to dice this up nice and finely. Then I'm going to take my leeks over to my pan. In it goes. We can get these started straight away. Then I'm going to lug in about a tablespoon or two of rapeseed oil. You can use olive oil if you want. I haven't got any and it's expensive, so rapeseed is just as nice. Then I'm going to get a spoon out of my cutlery drawer. Please ignore the state of this drawer. I know it's a mess, but look at the size of it. I've got loads of stuff and look how small it is. Anyway, just kind of start that off, get that going. And you're going to want to sweat these down for, I'd say 5 minutes or so, nice and gently. They're not going to take as long as onions, so they're going to cook down a lot quicker. But whilst that's doing that, we can get on with everything else. Next, we've got the chorizo, or chorizo, however you want to say it. Doesn't really matter, does it? I'm just going to nip off the ends, cut it down the middle, and then I'm going to run my knife down the length and kind of remove that papery skin. It is edible, but you know, it just can get stuck in your teeth and it's not very pleasant, so I'll just take it off. And I'm just going to dice this up. You can cut it up however you like. I'm just going to cut it into rounds, just into bits like that. That'll do. Next, I'm going to bash up a couple of garlic cloves. I know chorizo's already got garlic in it, but I love garlic. Don't want so much of a garlic flavour, just put one in or none at all. And you can actually make this completely vegetarian as well. If you just take out the chorizo, you can have it as is. So you can make this vegetarian. Okay, and then we're just going to slice that up and just kind of run your knife through it, get it fairly small. That's the garlic ready to go. Yeah, so I forgot to press bloody record on the camera, didn't I? Tit. So yeah, basically what I've done is the leeks have had 3 to 4 minutes. They're starting to soften nicely. Add your chorizo in, get that in straight away. And what's going to happen, as you cook that out, it's going to leak out this wonderful golden orange oil. It's going to add flavour and colour as well. Again, just give that like another sort of 3 to 4 minutes. You don't need to cook it for too long. And then we'll come back to it. See you in a sec. Have a butcher's at this. You can see all that orange oil that's come out of that chorizo. That is a flavour bomb, let me tell you. Okay, I'll give it another minute, I don't know. So as that oil is coming out, we're going to go in with the garlic. The garlic won't take long, I'm thinking like 30 to 60 seconds. As I've said many times before, that just sort of takes the edge off it, takes the rawness out of it, so it's not so bitter and strong. Remember earlier I said to you we're going to use a cheats ingredient that's going to save you time and money. What is it? This stuff here. It's called orzo. Yes, it looks a bit like rice. You see there, the white balance is blown out here, isn't it? Let me move you. Let me move you. This stuff here, look, I know it looks like rice. Get a bit of a close-up. Okay, looks a bit like rice, but it's actually pasta. It's basically pasta shaped like rice. The beauty of this stuff is it takes a lot less time to cook through. It's still going to be nice and creamy, you're going to get that nice bite, but it's going to take less time than risotto rice. So we're going to add that to our stuff. And if you're thinking, where the hell do I get flipping orzo pasta from? That sounds a bit bougie. It's not really. A lot of supermarkets do it these days. I can't... Oh, get this off. Get fucking off. Right, so I'm going to go in with about half of this, so looking at about 250 grams, and immediately start stirring that in. Okay, it's going to absorb all of that flavoured oil. Next, I'm going to add in a good slosh of wine. Again, don't need to be too fussy with it. A good glassful is going to be enough. And obviously, don't forget about yourself. Some of you may notice I've also got a beer on the go as well. As is my right. As is my right to do so on a Saturday afternoon. I think at this point as well, I'm going to add a good pinch of pepper. No salt at this point. Okay, because there's salt in the stock, and when we have the parmesan later on as well, that's salty too. So hold back on the salt for now. Now that that wine has sort of absorbed into that pasta, I'm going to start adding some stock. Just a little bit at a time, like you would a risotto. You go with a little bit to start with. Mix that in, whack a lid on it, and I'm going to leave that for about 3 to 5 minutes, just so it starts to cook through, and then we'll add a bit more stock. So it's similar to making a risotto, just a lot quicker. Damn sight quicker. Yeah, I think this puppy is ready for some more stock. Let's add some more in. Give it another stir, and we'll add the rest. Screw it. And I'm going to let that bubble away for another 5 minutes or so. And then we'll check, see if it's cooked. Right, so this is coming along very nicely indeed. I'll turn it down a little bit more to a 2. Next, I'm going to add a metric ton of Parmesan cheese. You can't really go overboard with this. Just add enough until your heart is happy, is what I'd say. But if you want a measurement, I'd say about 60 grams-ish. I think I'm going to add a touch of water, because it's just drying out a little bit. Just a splash. Now, I'm just going to quickly test it, see if that pasta is cooked. Perfectly cooked. Still a little bit al dente, which is what you want. But we're not finished there. We're not finished just yet. Because what we need is a little bit of acidity. Because it's very, very rich. There's cheese in there, you've got the stock, the chorizo. So we need something to counteract that. So I'm going to take a lemon, just sort of roll it with your hand a little bit. And then cut it in half. And just squeeze in that lemon juice. Obviously, be careful not to get any pips in there. And if it wasn't rich enough already, of course we're going to add some butter. Of course. Get off. Just a couple of knobs. Again, you can leave this out if you want. 1, 2, 3. It's a bit naughty, isn't it? 4. Why not? And just as a final flourish, I'm just going to take some basil, fresh basil, and just rip in a few leaves. And that, boys and girls, is done. Now, much like a risotto, you've got to eat it straight away. All right, don't leave it lying around like I have, because obviously I've taken photos, B-roll, all that kind of stuff. Let's give it a try. I'm filming. A risotto! I think she knocked on that door any harder. Should have put a bloody fist through it. Let's give it a go. Give it a go. I know they say it's rude to compliment your own food, but it's bloody delicious, so why not? And in real time, that took about 15-20 minutes to come together. Much quicker than a traditional risotto, but just as tasty. So there we have it, my little cheats risotto. It's basically just using orzo pasta instead of risotto rice. It's going to take like half the time to cook. It's going to save you money on electric or gas, and it's a great little sort of family weeknight meal, really. But listen, I'm going to bugger off. If you enjoyed the video, please do the usual. Stick a like down below, leave a comment as well. Like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And I'll see your gorgeous faces next time.